Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this webinar in the Researcher Toolbox series. My name is Danyashri Mudli. I'm the customer consultant for Elsevier, and I am streaming this webinar live on Facebook, as well as the recording is going to be made available after the webinar has concluded. And the recording will also be available on the Africa Researcher Success portal. We do have people that are still joining, and we have people that have joined in on Facebook Live. I'd like to begin the session today by introducing our speakers. The session is Understanding the Importance of Foundational Content, and we're really lucky and grateful to have two excellent speakers today. Tim Pitts is a senior acquisitions editor publishing books in medical imaging and communications engineering. He has worked in publishing since 1983 and has been an editor with Elsevier since 2004. He started his publishing career as an academic sales representative, promoting textbooks in the United Kingdom and Europe before becoming a sales manager. He then became an acquisitions editor, commissioning and developing textbooks and professional networking books in the 1990s. In the late 1990s, he developed courses and ran training in market research and customer-focused publishing for the UK publishing industry. As an editor with Elsevier, he has published textbooks, research monographs, reference works, and practical how-to books, which are aimed at academic researchers, industry research and development engineers, and clinicians. He is passionate about helping authors write books that achieve their goals of providing knowledge, understanding, insight, and practical know-how to their audience. Our second speaker is Jocelyn. Jocelyn is the Senior Acquisitions Editor responsible for science titles in psychology and neurosciences at Elsevier. Her focus includes social, development, clinical psychology, as well as translational neuroscience. Jocelyn has 15 years of publishing experience in a variety of roles covering multiple product types. She is well respected by her authors, editors, and peers for her proven track record of successful publications and strong relationships with researchers and clinicians. She has represented Elsevier at scientific conferences and author workshops. She receives her BA in English Literature from the University of California, and she currently resides in San Diego. I'd like to give the speakers an opportunity to share their screens and unmute. And to the audience, while they're doing that, remember that you can communicate with the speakers if you'd like using the chat box if you have any general messages. And if you have any direct questions, please use the Q&A box, because this is where we will be looking to specifically answer anything related to the session. However, if you want to communicate with each other or send general messages, you can use the chat box. Welcome to all that's on our Facebook Live. And we're about to start. So over to you, Tim.
Oh, hi. Thank you very much, Danyashri. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm delighted to be presenting today with Jocelyn and Sabrina. So if we can go to the next slide. So the agenda is very much looking at the book publishing process and then looking at foundational content and the role of books and journals and science direct topics. We are 3 acquisitions editors, and we've had the introduction. So what is our role as an acquisitions editor? If you could have the next slide, please. So the role of an acquisitions editor is to commission book content. We help researchers and teachers publish book content that provides value to students and researchers. So in a way, I think we help researchers and teachers build a bridge to their communities by publishing content that will help and aid understanding the insight to their audience, to the communities that they work with. So how do we do that? Next slide, please. So first of all, we're very lucky that we have Scopus and SciVal as tools, which enables us to do bibliometric analysis. That is, it enables us to find topics that are of high volume, that have a high volume of publications, as well as a good compound annual growth rate, as well as a field-weighted citation impact that that topic has. It enables us also to find some of the leading researchers who are publishing in those areas. Another key aspect, if you go back to that slide, please, is finding out about foundational knowledge, and which we'll be talking about, Jocelyn will be talking about a bit later. So increasingly, we're doing more publishing on what we call foundational content, which gives knowledge about foundational topic areas. And lastly, a key aspect of what we do is to interview our end users, our people who read our books, and understand what their pain points are and their information and knowledge needs as researchers and students. So we've been interviewing master's students, PhD students, postdocs, established researchers to understand a lot of what they need and the kind of pain points that they have in their workflow. Next slide, please. So another key aspect that we do is we network, and we go to conferences, and we often meet up with people who are running workshops as a good indicator of an important new research area. And we also contact people who are giving courses, which is a good indicator if there's a course that there could well be a book topic, a good topic for a book. We do campus visits and visit people who are teaching various courses at the senior undergraduate level and at the master's level. And as I mentioned before, we do reach out to researchers through using the SciVal Scopus contacts that we gain from analyzing research topics. Next slide, please. So we do see our role as very much a partnership between author, publisher, researcher, and library. And our goal is to commission book content that gives understanding and insight to researchers and students. And I think particularly a partnership between library and publisher, because we do aim to provide valuable, both of us, valuable book content to researchers and students. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is, I just want to give you an example of how we network. And this is a series that basically I created in 2019. And that came about by me and that lady in the picture. She was giving a course in advanced neuroimaging techniques and methods. And I thought this looked a really interesting course, could well be potential for a book. And so I made contact with her, and we had a telephone meeting, and then we arranged to meet up at a conference and got talking about this whole field. And it was clear she had a very good vision of topics that needed books for. And so we decided to create a series with her co-presenter of the course, Peter Jezard, who's top bottom right in that picture. And they also decided to invite 2 other editors from Stanford University. So we had this editorial board of advisors. They advised me on topics to publish in and people to contact. And so this series got underway in 2019, and we published the first book in 2020. And we now have about 10 books published so far, with another few underway. So this is just an example of how we kind of network with people in the community of the areas that we're publishing in. Next slide, please. So let me just explain the book publishing cycle. So the acquisitions editor, we at the beginning of the year decide what our strategy is and what topic areas we're going to publish in based on our market research. Then we go out and contact the top people in the field to either edit or author a book. And they agree to do it. They then give us a publishing proposal. And basically that says who the audience is, the approach to the book, and the table of contents. We look at that, we give our comments and suggestions, and then we send it out for review to get feedback and comments and suggestions. Once we're all happy to get that we want the book in the shape that the reviews have told us and the way the proposal is, we then offer a contract and we agree as a writing schedule with the editors or authors. So that the authors and editors then write that, and then when they deliver the finished manuscript, the production process starts, and that involves typesetting, well, copy editing, typesetting, and printing, and a cover being designed and being part of the book. Then once it's published, then the global marketing distribution sales gets underway, although actually pre-release information of the books that go out to Amazon and other retail outlets 6 to 7 months before publication. So that in a nutshell is the publishing process, the cycle of publishing process. Next slide, please. So this is just a few examples of books we've published from sub-African regions. Nice collection of books here. So we just sort of wanted to give you some examples of sort of books we publish, and we're always looking for good new books. So yeah. Next slide, please. So I just wanted to finish my little piece with a quote, really, which I think came from someone who was a reviewer, and I think really does sum up very nicely the need for books. As he says, I regularly use books in my research and teaching, and this can be for various reasons, including a didactic and rigorous explanation of a given concept, which is not always available in journal papers. When he's preparing a graduate course, also it is a reference for students to read, sort of recommended book or textbook for the course. Also, he's looking for a comprehensive view of a given topic. And when he's starting working on a new topic, a book can be invaluable. So I think this really does sum up all the various uses that and value that books can provide. Okay, thank you very much. I'll hand you over now to Jocelyn to talk about foundational content.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for sharing again that great quote. Again, my name is Jocelyn Chivers-Serpagio. I'm another senior acquisitions editor with Elsevier and commissioning neuroscience and psychology books for Elsevier. So as Tim mentioned, as acquisitions editors, we're constantly discussing with our authors, editors, and users about our books. From that comment that you saw, we started to really examine how our books are being used. And from that examination, we began working on foundational content. Let's see here. So you might be asking, what is foundational content, as we refer to this phrase throughout our presentation, our workshop. Foundational content provides a fundamental base of knowledge and practice necessary to understand and apply a key topic, subject within a field, discipline. Simply speaking, foundational content is a content that can be used by students, teachers, researchers, and professionals to teach, learn, or understand. And we are working to make sure that our products, both books and journals content, meet this goal. So this great slide, this is a great slide that kind of helps demonstrate on how we break down and how our products and foundational content can be used throughout the timeline of your career. So one of our many goals at Elsevier is to really support the learning and research at every step of one's career. This includes from start at student level to moving up to established researchers and clinicians as they move forward in their career. Again, this great figure explains step by step on how our content can move and grow with researchers and clinicians throughout their career. Starting at the first step, we understand as students, their goal is to learn and focus on understanding the fundamental concepts, processes, and applications. And to aid with that, our textbooks and encyclopedias are developed with this primary goal in mind. As they move forward into the second step, as advanced students or PhD students or masters, the knowledge base begins to change. And now the goal is to quickly get up to speed in subject areas, including learning interdisciplinary subject areas. Both our journals and books are used to help aid in this goal. Our journal articles provide quick access to needed answers, and our specific book topics also provide the same. And that third step, if you can see, the third step in the career model focuses on postdocs and early researchers. For this step in the career, most are looking for answers to specific questions and possible refresh their knowledge. Again, both our journals and books help meet these needs with specific references and clinical books to help answer these specific questions, providing practical references to walk you through processes, to providing specific case studies to help aid in patient diagnosis and treatment. The last step in that ladder is in the career development is the established researchers or clinicians. These groups are more focused on building new connections and staying current with the subject area, and rely mostly on reference books, including our serials and series handbooks and journal articles, which are more fast-paced and provide a quick updated reference point. Many of you agree with us, confirming that you use foundational content while researching topics and sometimes use journals to compare facts or results, or that our textbooks are the fastest path to the kind of understanding, as seen on the right-hand side of the screen, some of the reviews and comments that we receive from our users. So tailored for coursework, education, and learning, our foundational content from ScienceDirect, both book and journals, enables understanding basic concepts and consolidating interdisciplinary knowledge to formulating ideas and writing papers and back again. This slide shows impressive stats for ScienceDirect, with over 250 textbooks providing all students with immense coverage for common courses, many featuring specific pedagogy and ancillaries to further support learning. ScienceDirect also contains about over 200 plus major reference works, which is our encyclopedias, which helps continue to build foundational knowledge in all fields and also support interdisciplinary research. We also have over 710 plus textbooks, reference hybrids, and over 35,000 reference books. Both help provide foundational knowledge and in-depth context. Many books featuring rich content providing a layer or to complement our more advanced content. At the bottom of the slide are some stats for ScienceDirect topics, which is now part of our ScienceDirect platform. ScienceDirect topics are free topic pages that provide readers with a comprehensive database or reliable background and contextual knowledge, making it easy to get up to speed with new and unfamiliar concepts. Their goal is to connect students and researchers to summarize knowledge and act as a discovery tool for further trusted reading. This makes for an ideal environment for intuitive learning and for sparking creativity. Later in the presentation, you'll hear a more in-depth review of topics from my colleague, Sabrina Weber. Here's a list of the most accessed hybrids from 2018 to 2022. These books fulfill a dual role in instructing students, often upper-level courses, as well as active researchers and professionals. Here is a list of the most accessed foundational content books in 2022. As you can see, these books range in providing basic foundational knowledge to practical methods to be used in research or clinical settings, or to comprehensive knowledge base through the Handbook of Clinical Neurology, which is the 4 brown text covers there. This slide shows the list of the most accessed textbooks from 2018 to 2022, which are primarily used as student resources in classroom settings. So as I mentioned in previous slides, Elsevier books and journals aid in content understanding, but now I'm going to delve a little further into this synergistic relationship between books and journals. Books and journals each provide their own unique type of content. However, they are fundamentally interlinked and work together to provide researchers, students, and clinicians the knowledge they need. Looking at this slide, journal articles content provides depth in growing disciplines. In providing specialized knowledge in a distinct area, it has a very narrow focus. It goes into extreme depth of coverage of a topic, and it will focus on a very latest research and new results. All of this is really important to researchers and students. Book content, on the other hand, provide breadth in connecting disciplines together. It provides a broad view of the topic. It allows for expert opinions on multiple foundational topics, and the complexity of the differing opinions can all be collated into one source. Finally, books have the ability to provide related field methods and materials all in one place. All of this is equally important to researchers and students. So what does that mean? Very simply, researchers and students need both types of content to build their complete knowledge of the topic area. One cannot replace the other. Overall, there is a great need for book content, and it encourages 1, interdisciplinary research, and 2, promotes co-usage among books and journals. And now I'll hand it off to my colleague, Sabrina Weber, to talk about topic pages.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Just a quick intro. I'm Sabrina Weber. As Jocelyn said, I'm the acquisitions editor for biomaterials and bionanotech books here at Elsevier. I've been with Elsevier for, I think, about 7 years now, and 5 of those I've been in this role. So as Jocelyn said, we're just going to talk a little bit about topic pages. So next slide, please. Next slide, thank you. So Science Direct topics bring together source materials for individual topics. They provide quick and easily digestible introductions to a new subject. This is done by making use of machine learning and natural language processing techniques, which identify relevant topic-based information, typically via keywords from Elsevier's reference materials such as encyclopedias, journal review articles, monographs, book series, and handbooks. Next slide. These mini hubs of topic-related information provide students with the context needed to quickly make sense of a new term or subject at the point of need. You'll see that here from a simple Google search, the topic page for this term comes up. From there, we have the concise definition. We have a couple of articles, book excerpts, and a list of related terms which will lead to other topic pages for further information. Next slide. These pages can also be used to provide supplementary information for courses, for faculty members, and they provide further reading or will help support coursework or exam prep. Next slide. Alongside topic pages, ScienceDirect allows for targeted filtering of search results to ensure that students get what they need when they need it. You can see here that a couple of the filtering options are using multiple search fields. Suggested publications can help find relevant other reference points that maybe aren't being searched for, and also being able to filter specifically for open access and open archive content. You'll see here just how much co-usage there is between books and journals. Our readers typically find what they're looking for by flicking between the two. Via ScienceDirect and topic pages, books, content, and journal articles are brought together to provide a holistic snapshot of a subject. So why does this matter? Well, you'll see various statistics here, but some key points are that for our 330,000 topic pages, we see around 23 million visits per month, which makes topic pages the second most viewed on ScienceDirect after journal articles. And so your published works, especially linking back to kind of the foundational content, which is filled with the sorts of keywords and content that the machine learning for ScienceDirect particularly likes. These are all linked in to the topic pages and therefore are most visible and accessible to students and researchers. So here we've just got some useful links. This includes our email addresses if you have any questions or you're interested in learning more about foundational content or even submitting a book proposal. And on the lines of submitting book proposals, we have the proposal template linked here. This is just a link also to our books available on the store, and also a link to ScienceDirect topics, which we just covered. Thank you very much, and we'll move on to any questions.
Thank you very much to all three of our speakers. I'm just checking on Facebook Live if there's any questions. There's just a few compliments that have come through. Just going to put this off. And for the Q&A, I have answered the questions that have come through using the chat option. So those have been attended to as well. Is there anyone on the line on Zoom that has any questions for our speakers? Okay, there aren't any questions that have come through. So I just want to pass my sincere thanks to all three of our speakers today for arranging this presentation and for taking us through the publishing process. We have, as I said, shared it live on Facebook as well as the recording, which will be uploaded to our Africa Researcher Success portal. So to those that have not visited this portal yet, this is where we upload all of the recordings from the Researcher Toolbox sessions. I'm going to put that in the chat box now. And when you click on this link, I'll just share my screen quickly to show you this as well. You can find the recordings under recorded webinars, and under upcoming webinars, you will find the links to register for any other session in the series. So we just got through this session, and the next one will be the Pillars of Open Science. So if you're interested, you just go to this link and you can register. Do our presenters want to say anything further before I close the session?
Just thank you very much for attending.
Yes, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. And we will be sending out your links for your certificate downloads as well. So I'll stop here and have a lovely day.